They can bury the truth, but they can't kill the soul. Cut through the noise, get back to what matters. Stomp that floor, raise that hand, hear that truth roll across the land. We've been bent, we've been bruised, still we stand with nothing to lose. It ain't easy, it ain't easy. The road is long and hard. We stand for our freedom right here in our own backyard. Yes, Patriot Mike, standing tall and free. Patriot Mike, for you and for me. Strapped in. You're live with the Patriot Mike Show.
Hurry up, Martha. Before Master get around here, the sun going down. I tell you what's going on. Say they put some fancy new lines on the map.
What that mean?
That means we not gonna have something called representation. That's a fancy word to say ain't nobody that look like us gonna be in the big house no more.
Shut your mouth.
That's what they said.
We done had them?
Oh, sure. We done had 50, 60 years worth of representation.
They done helped us.
No. We ain't got 40 acres of mule. But them folks from across the water, them Asians, our representation made sure that they got a law now that say you can't say nothing bad to them, can't say nothing bad about them, unless you go to jail. Quiet as it's kept. At the big house, they say them folks from down south, call them Hispanics. They nicks. Sure is, I do declare.
We's got a law like that, protect us like that.
No, we ain't got nothing like that. You can say anything to us, and you can say anything about us, nothing gonna happen to you. But I tell you what that representation does, they sings and they hollers and they falls out on the floor in front of them white folks just to tell them that they mad.
Do that help?
No, they don't do nothing for us, but it look good. That Crockett gal, she cusses them good, and she cuss loud right in front of them white folks.
What that do?
That let them know that she there. It ain't do nothing for us. Colored boy down there in Tennessee put his hand right there in that white man face and cussed him good. It ain't get us nothing, but he did it. I guess it looked good. It made folks happy to see him put his hand in his face, even though we ain't getting nothing out of it. Yeah.
Hey, that gal done made us look good.
Oh, yes, sir. These tomatoes gonna produce a mighty fine crop this year, sir. Everybody gonna eat good this year, sir. Oh, yes, sir. While you're down here, can I ask you something, sir?
Make it quick.
Now they put new lines on the map. You think maybe we can get some out of it?
Ain't we gave you enough already? Hurry up.
You was right, sir.
Hurry up.
I'm always getting ahead of myself. Yes, I is, sir. I just talks too much. I'm sorry. I was gonna get these tomatoes right in the house right now, sir, just so you can eat your supper. All right now. Martha, it's best you get on away from around here. He ain't look too happy about them questions.
All right, now, Tessa.
Maybe one day our representation will do something for us for real.
Tessa!
All right.
Good morning, Patriots. How you doing today? This is Mike the Patriot coming to you live from the downtown metropolis of Lamont, Missouri. Hope you're having a great day wherever it is you are at. That was a little skit there. they changed in their lines down there. They changed them lines of the reputations, representations. I know some of you might be offended by that. And if you're tuning in, because I'm broadcasting on all the channels this morning, not just on, if you're watching me like, I kind of like this guy. I want to see what more he has to say. You might not know yet because I just got started talking, but you kind of like this guy. Well, tell you what, go to Rumble and go to X. Follow me over there because I don't broadcast on these other channels all the time because that video will probably get me kicked off. But that's a whole nother story. It's all fun. It's all fun and games till you get suspended. Anyways, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And the word of the day brought to us by Marine in the Woods, given by the Lord, is Ruth 1, 8 through 18. That's Ruth 1, 8 through 18. Make sure you crack open the Bible, see what God has for you today. And if you're feeling like, your life sucks and everything, nothing's going your way, and you're just commiserating with yourself, go read Ruth, but especially focus on Naomi. I'm just saying, your life won't seem so bad. She got it bad. She had a stroke of bad luck, one would say, if you believed in that sort of thing. Anyways, thanks for joining me today. We got lots going on. Lots happening. Got breaking news left and right. We got the war. The war has changed. And we got new products from some of my sponsors, which is fun. And so make sure you support the Patriot Mike Show. Hit the thumbs up button, the like button, the heart button, wherever the button is. Push that button. Share it with your friends. Make sure that you watch the commercial when you come on, if there's a commercial, because that helps. And do this to any of your favorite influencers out there. Support them this way. A comment, if you got a comment section where you're at, comment. Say things, even if it's ugly and mean to me. You're a fat idiot. Okay, whatever. I'm not as fat as I used to be, because this was June of last year. Let me put it on the screen here. This was June of last year right here. And I was preaching, bringing the word of God somewhere. But anyways, June of last year, 315 pounds of me. That's a lot of me, let me tell you. And this was last weekend, 260 pounds of me. It's a little less than 260. So I've lost over 50 pounds. And I did it so easy. It's so easy to lose the weight. Yeah, I did it so easy. It's unbelievable. You won't believe me when I show you this. All I did was take the chocolate sauce. It makes your pants fall off. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This chocolate concoction, I've been taking it since it came out in October. Every day, a spoonful a day chases that belly fat away. And let me tell you something. I'm the premier study of this. Because if you go and you join up, you don't have to join anything, but you join up with the people taking this product. I can put you in a post with some people, that influencers that are into health and wellness and all this stuff, and they'll tell you how to eat right and think right and do all the right things. And I'm not that guy. I can't exercise like I used to because of physical ailments. I haven't really changed the way that I eat, other than I don't go around for a second time or third time. But I still eat the same foods. Nothing better than a hamburger and French fries. Good French fries too. Like over at Miss Claire's North 65 Cafe in Sedalia, Missouri. If you want a really good hamburger and French fries made from scratch from the finest beef you can buy, that's a good place to go. That's a shameless plug, by the way. And I've lost all this weight. So I'm proving that even without the exercise and proper diet, taking the chocolate sauce, you still lose weight. So go give it a try. And then I also want to talk about, let's talk about it. Oh, that's the wrong show. I also want to talk about one other thing, and that is that we've launched a new product. And this product is something else. I mean it. It is something else. It's a new product that says let me get this off the screen. I'm sorry. We'll get to some of the crazy stuff that's going on here in a minute. This new product, it's a new launch, and you can't even get your hands on it till July. But I'm going to tell you about it now. It comes in the flavor of Island Punch and Citrus Crush, and it's a sports drink, a electrolyte drink, like Gatorade. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to use the name, but that's okay. That kind of thing. And it has electrolytes for hydration. It has I can't even say these words. It has extra minerals. I can't say it. SHILAJIT, whatever that means. Coconut water for recovery. Gasoline, GLYCINE for recovery and sleep support. Taurine for performance. Trace minerals for replenishment. It is got all the stuff. So like the hydration products on the market today have sodium, potassium, magnesium. This has Himalaya salt, potassium, magnesium, calcium, glycine, taurine, coconut water, that SHILAJIT extract, arcesia fiber, solar salt minerals, vitamin C. It's a whole new game changer in the industry. And here it is right here. This is it right here. It's called Revive. And you can get your hands on it. Starting in about 30 days. So keep an eye out for that. I've already got mine ordered. By the way, if you're a social marketer with me right now, you can order it. Hey, it's not about me and how I pronounce the words. That's kind of my shtick, but it's how the product works. And I'm going to tell you because I'm going to try it. Anyways, just letting you know, this company it wants to introduce new products consistently because that's part of it. Mike, you're going to make no, Marine. I'm going to make you rich because his wife is signed up and she is going after it. By the way, she's already getting checks. She's doing a good job. So no, you're going to get rich, Marine. You're gonna enjoy this. What flavor? The flavor is citrus punch and the other one. I don't remember. Island Punch and Citrus Crush. Island Punch is kind of like a coconutty kind of, flavor, like the islands, and the citrus is your lemon lime type flavor. All right, let's go. Let's get started. Mike, enough about you. Let's talk about you. No, let's get started with the show. We got a lot to talk about, a lot going on.
Will it be more bombing?
We got war happening. Donald Trump yesterday was hooting and hollering that he was going to bomb the snot out of Iran. They had till the end of the day to make a deal. Here's Donald Trump.
Will it be more bombing tonight?
Yeah, there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be bigger, more powerful. Don't forget, we've knocked out all of their anti-aircraft. They don't have any they have nothing. I mean, they may get lucky with a shoulder weapon or something, but for the most part, they have no defense.
What did the representative say in your phone call?
They're finished. Excuse me. They're finished. But the papers, the media refuses to write it. They're finished. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place. They're finished. And the media is crooked. They're just like our elections. The media is crooked. I'm talking to. Hey, I'd sort of I'd like to get a deal now, less than 3 or 4 weeks ago, because once you do this, you could just go a step further. But I don't know that America has the appetite to do what I would really much prefer doing. You remember in Iraq, I said, don't go in, but they went in. They made a big mistake. It should have never that war lasted 10 years, killed tens of thousands of people, millions of people on both sides, millions of people. Nobody ever reported that. We've lost 13 soldiers in 2 wars. In Venezuela, we lost none, took over the country. And in Iraq, in Iran, we lost 13. In Vietnam, we lost hundreds of thousands, 19 years. Nobody says that. They say, you've been there for 3 months. 3 months. You know, they're going crazy because I've been there for 3 months. I've decimated the country in 3 months.
Are you thinking next?
No, they blame me, Brian. They said, you said you'd be out of there faster. Well, it's a much bigger situation now because we've done a better job than anybody anticipated you could do in such. Look, we were in Vietnam 19 years, and we didn't do the job because we didn't have the right leadership, to be honest. That would have been, if it were me, I would have had that war done in 3 months, 4 months.
There's Donald Trump. A little bit more. Notice he's like, we're just going to end it. We're going to end this one way or another. It's going to end.
Part of the problem is that they read the fake news. I mean, because Fox is great. All the anchors on Fox have been fantastic, from Sean to Jesse, Laura. I mean, they've all been great. Everybody, every single anchor has been great. You guys have been amazing. And Trey Yangster is a superstar. I mean, he just covers it so accurately. And I don't know Trey Yanks, but I mean, he covers it so accurately. It's so beautiful to watch. And he's got a level of excitement that's amazing. But the accuracy is so good. I just saw him on your show a little while ago. And I said, that's exactly what's happening. I'm not saying I want the advantage or this. I just say, just that's what's happening. And that's the way it should be covered. And if it was covered that way, the public would say, wow, what a great situation this is. Because we are stopping a very evil nation which has killed thousands of our people. No legs, no arms, face obliterated. You know, what they've done with, you know, the roadside bombs. Soleimani, who I killed. But Soleimani was their top general. He was a brilliant general, an evil person. But he was a brilliant general. He was a violent general. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. And they sent him off by the thousands. And every time you see a soldier without his legs and arms and beyond, that's Soleimani. So 95% is Soleimani. So I took care of that. And now we have Iran in a very, I guess the ultimate position. They have no choice. The only negative we have is we have everybody writing about it incorrectly. You know, we have fake news.
But
that's where the term fake news
feeling is.
And one more.
The greatest deal in history. They could wave the white flag of surrender. They could say, we surrender, we're finished, we've had it. The United States is the greatest power. Praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this. They could say it loud and clear. And the fake news would say it was a great victory for Iran. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We're killing them. It's killing them. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. You know, we're flying planes over the middle of Tehran, and they don't have no idea what we're there. We've knocked out all of their radar, all of their anti-aircraft. Much of their missiles, they have probably less than 20%. We think about 20%. Most of their launchers, they have the missile launchers, which are quite important. Their drone capacity is way down. You see it. I mean, it's way down. Their attacks are very minor. They're finished. And yet, the fake news, just like with the election, the fake news is out there saying, wow, Iran is doing just so well. Trump is doing terribly. I watched it yesterday, one of the shows for 5 minutes. I haven't seen the show in a long while. This fake Joe Scarborough talking about how well Iran is doing. I'm saying, where do they come from? It's just the craziest thing. Yeah. And behind the scenes, I will tell you, they won't even dispute it, although they probably would because it makes sense. They're very good. Iran is very good at publicity, but they're not good at fighting. So I took a look, and I must tell you, they can't believe the press they're getting. They can't even believe it. Yeah. And they told me, they said, it's amazing how well we're doing in the papers. We're not doing so well. They're negotiating with us to make a deal.
Well, Mr.
It's
President,
hard for them because they are proud. They're very proud.
We know
been the bully. They've been the bully of the Middle East for 47 years.
Yeah, they have.
They've been ripping off our presidents and other countries for years. They played Obama for a fool. The JCPOA is one of the worst deals I've ever seen, other than NAFTA, the NAFTA trade deal, which was maybe the worst deal ever made.
Mr. President.
But the JCPOA was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a road to no nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear. It says you cannot have a nuclear weapon. We will not have. And I didn't like it. It wasn't strong enough because it said develop. You cannot develop. I said, no, I want buy also. So they fought me on that for a day, and then they agreed to it. You cannot develop or purchase a nuclear weapon. So we got everything, but the press just covers it so crazily. They
Don't worry about
it. No matter what I do, the press will say, it was a great victory for Iran. These people are great.
Mr.
Sick.
President.
It's Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, Mr.
It's Trump derangement syndrome. That's Donald Trump in his own words. You could take it however you want to take it, but that's what he said. So that was yesterday morning. That we're gonna have a deal, or we're gonna have a deal. The choice is deal or deal. Well, by yesterday afternoon, Donald Trump put this out. Based on the fact that discussions with the Islamic Republic of Iran have been brought to the highest level of Iranian leadership and approved, I have, as President of the United States of America, canceled the scheduled strikes and bombings against Iran this evening. Discussions and final points have been in both concept and great detail approved by all parties involved, including the United States, Israel. By the way, there's Patriot mythology insurgency going around saying Israel was surprised by the deal. No, they weren't. That's bullcrap. The United States, Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Turkey, Pakistan, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, and others. The naval blockade will remain in full force and effect until this transaction is finalized. Time and place of the signing will be announced shortly. Now, one of the things is, not only were we bombing the ever-loving snot out of them, but Donald Trump came out yesterday and said, we 100 million barrels of oil we smuggled through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran didn't even know it till now. You know what he did there? The only piece of leverage they have was saying that they were going to block the strait. We're going to block the strait. We're going to block the strait. We're going to block the strait. And the price of gas would go up a little bit. That was the only thing they had. They didn't have the ability to block the strait. We sank their Navy. We destroyed their Air Force. All they had was a few little drones. They had no ability to block the strait. And Donald Trump proved it to them. So now that Donald Trump proved it to them, when they go out, we're going to block the strait. And nothing happens because the price won't go down. The price won't go up. It'll continue to go down because they can't block the strait. He took it away from them. Yeah, Trump made them an offer you couldn't refuse. He said, we're going to have a deal, or you're going to sleep with the fishes. That's what he said. Speaking of deals, here, teaming up to run for president. That's right, ladies. The Democratic dream team for president.
Joined today by presidential candidate Hunter Biden, 2028. Come on, Hunter.
No.
You got more buzz out there than you got the president of the United States, Donald Trump, talking about your candidacy for president of the United States.
I had to give you a break for just one day at least. Here's the deal. I'll run, but only as your VP, because the truth of the matter is the vice president's residence is a lot cooler. It's a lot easier job too.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom and Hunter Biden. Could you get more plastic fake people on the planet? Here's their campaign slogan right here. Biden Newsom 2028, crack pipes and poop for a better tomorrow. The dynamic duel, because California showed us the way. I can't wait for the signs to pop up in California like they did in Arkansas. Vote for Gavin Newsom for president. Get him the hell out of our state. There was actually signs when Clinton was running down in Arkansas when he was running for president. Get him out of our state. Vote for him. Here's Donald Trump on the phone. The war is over. What the? Man, what is going on? There it is. My computer's acting weird. Weird. All right. Okay, here we go.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but we ended the war with Iran today, and they have agreed never to have a nuclear weapon, something that we insisted on. That was the whole purpose. That was 95% of it. And they've done it in the most powerful way you can do it. So
The war's over, he says. The United States will be hitting Iran. This is what he said. Now, this was yesterday at 5:22 a.m. This was yesterday evening. This is what he said. The United States will be hitting Iran, whose Navy, Air Force, radar, anti-aircraft, and all other forms of defense, together with its most offensive capability, are gone. Very hard tonight. That this was the one. This is what he was saying. At some point in the not too distant future, we will be taking Krog Island and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control over their oil and gas markets, much like we have in Venezuela, which is working out brilliantly for Venezuela and the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, did he? Did he take over? A rumor has it that he did. We'll find out. Although I'm not convinced, by the way, that it has finally finished. Now, we'll get back to the war, the previous scheduled war in a minute. But first, I want to talk about, I've told you over and over and over again that if you are in a interaction with LEOs, law enforcement officers of some kind, and they ask you to do something or order you to do something, you should do it as if your life depends on it. Because you never know the idiot on the other side of that gun. For example, this video. This is let's see, cops in Pasadena, California. Where the Rose Bowl parade is. It says they like to point their guns at each other as a funny little gag. Somebody needs to take a proper firearms class. You never point the muzzle at anything you don't intend to destroy. But we're in Pasadena, California, and that's what they do here. Watch.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
See it?
Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for?
I do not have rights to the music, but it's under 30 seconds. Give it a break, Facebook. Jeez. It's a TikTok video, you morons. You don't own the rights to the music. Shut up. Did you see what happened? They pull their weapons and point them at each other for some stupid reason. And the other officer pulls a weapon and shoots the guy. That's why you never point your weapon, if it's loaded or unloaded, at anybody ever, unless you're intending to eliminate a threat. Ever. And here you have law enforcement officers. That's why I'm telling you. You don't know what idiot's behind that gun. They'll pull that thing out and, oh, I didn't mean to shoot you. I didn't mean to. Yep. You still shot. You're still shot. I don't know what to tell you. So again, back with my theory that if an officer of law asks you to do something, you should do it as if your life depends on it, because it just might be this idiot behind the gun. I don't know who this idiot was. Pulling out your weapon and pointing it at somebody, both of those officers should be off the force. They should be gone, if not charged. I'm serious about that. That's some of the dumbest thing that I've seen ever. And I've seen a lot of dumb stuff on the internet. That's one of the dumbest. Absolutely retarded. So we got the Iraq war, or excuse me, Iran war settling down. And while that's settling down, Donald Trump's handling other issues. Here's Donald Trump posting about Jamie Ratskin. Jamie Ratskin, a loser in life who worked endlessly during my first term to impeach me and failed miserably. Wasting the country's money, time, and effort will guaranteed be trying to do it again, despite one of the most successful presidencies in history. The last one that went after me on impeachment was pathetic soul Al Green, who just lost his race in a landslide to an unknown candidate, but, in my opinion, one that had more talent than Ratskin. He spent time on the unselect committee of political hacks and thugs and was rebuffed on that, just as he's been rebuffed on impeachment and many other things. If Biden didn't give him a pardon, he'd be in jail right now. I wonder if Biden did, I wonder what he's saying. What do you mean by that, Mr. President? Something should be done about people like this who do bad things, but always come up short in the end. Always come up on the short end because of their illegal, unscrupulous behavior. I wonder what he's talking about. He's not saying it, but he's saying it. And hurt our country in the process. I agree with Mark Levin when he says, expel the bum. Congress can never be great with people like this who suffer massively from Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, casting their vote of hate. And then here's what Mark Levin said. The House should trigger the expulsion process against Jamie Raskin. Jamie Raskin is already leading a plot to impeach the president if the Democrats take the House. He led the prior two impeachments against the president. He's pushed for his resignation in the past. Also was involved in twisting the 14th Amendment to ban candidate Trump for ballots. Objected to the electoral college votes for Trump's in the first election. By the way, that was what January 6th was all about. Weird. Objected for the electoral college votes for Trump in the first election and was a member of the Pelosi January 6th committee that, among other things, destroyed records before the GOP took over the House. Republicans should move to expel Jamie Ratskin from the House if he can continue to abuse our constitutional system and undermine our electoral process. Ironic, since he blames Trump and the Republicans for doing so. Having led every effort described above, even take the necessary steps to charge him under the expulsion clause. Under Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2, the Constitution, each House of Congress may punish its members for disorderly behavior and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. It's true that it is highly unlikely 2/3 of the House would vote for his expulsion, but the Senate will never muster the 2/3 votes required to convict and remove a president either. That doesn't stop Ratskin and his ilk from acting and putting the president through the process. I can think of no other way to push back against this kind of abuse of the impeachment clause by Ratskin and the Democrats. Well, you may need your 100 followers, but that's not the way it works around here. Yep. Makes you go bye-bye when you do that. So there's Ratskin in the news. Of course, everybody's got to love Mr. Ratskin. And here's Ratskin's response to Trump. Runs over to the cameras, and a camera he ain't never loved. And here it is.
He's trying to militarize our society, intimidate its political opponents. The whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history, and yet crime is down. In D.C., for example, it's at a 30-year low. It's down in Baltimore. It's down in Chicago. But the point is that in our system of federalism, the different branches of government and the different departments of government are supposed to work together. If Donald Trump thinks he's got some great ideas for Chicago or Miami or Houston, Texas, or whatever, he should call a summit for the White House and say, hey, here's some ideas where the feds can work together with states and localities, not have a series of rolling National Guard invasions of people's cities.
Yeah. I mean, coming from the guy who did the weaponization, the guy who did the weaponization, who threw people in jail and threw away the key over January 6th. That guy. He's one of the biggest turds there is. Also, going back to the war, this is interesting. Wow. President Trump says the Kurds obstructed him trying to arm the Iranian people, and he'll never forget what they did. The Kurds let us down. I disagree with the decision. I said they won't deliver them. I think they kept them for themselves. I'll remember that, Kurds. We actually sent them weapons, and we were very disappointed by the Kurds, to be honest with you. So he was trying to smuggle weapons into into Iran to help the opposition, but the Kurds blackmailed or turned their backs on the United States, which doesn't surprise me because that's who they are. And here's another interesting post. Donald Trump says yesterday that the war is over. The June 11th, 2018 Q post. Again, I think Q was a psyop, and it was designed to do two things. It was designed to wake people up and get them to start looking, and it was designed to cause confusion and reaction on the enemy's side. However, there's some coinky-dinkies from time to time that make you say, June 11, 2018, UN sanctions Iran. Leader of EU only care about protecting flow of money, not the safety and security of their people or the world. Iran deal orchestrated for the sole purpose of lifting sanctions blockade to allow access to foreign businesses and individuals and co-wide enrichment scam. Nothing to do with nukes. That's cover. Hussein pallets of cash. Hussein secret authorization to convert U.S. dollar. More coming. No mainstream media coverage. Get popcorn. So what does that mean? I haven't a clue, but it's coinciding that on the 11th, Trump ended the war, and then there's that to coincide with it. I don't know. Is the war over? I don't know. I don't have the answers to that at this time. But there's some things in the news to pay attention to. I got a half sneeze coming. Ugh, hate that. One of the things is this morning, they launched another barrage of their drones. It says, according to Fox News, citing U.S. official, Iran targeted shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with a one-way attack drones, prompting U.S. forces to shoot two of them down per official traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I don't know. The mullahs will die in their caves. That's the prophetic word. So we'll see what happens. I don't think that it's over yet completely, but I can't. We're gonna let things ride and see where they go. You know what I mean? Secretary of Treasury says this on the war: the Iranian regime will lose the zero-sum game that's playing. Any damage it inflicts on our allies in the Gulf will be paid for with funds extracted from Iranian accounts. Any tolls paid by Persian Gulf Strait Authority will be offset by funds extracted from their accounts. Every attack Iran launches will only deepen the economic financial consequences it faces. So we're not fighting the war just on one front. We're fighting the war on all fronts. Speaking of war, this was just posted this morning. Iran-linked group claims to have hacked FBI drones and threatens to target World Cup in chilling warning. Let's see if I have it here. Daily Mail, which, they've been kind of out of their mind here lately. Iran-leaked hacker group claimed to have breached FBI drones and threatened to target World Cup, according to report. It says Handala, a prominent pro-Palestine cyber threat organization, is said to have alleged that it had obtained access to every image and every suspect for months ahead of the soccer tournament, which kicks off on Thursday. The hackers said the first-person view drones feature facial recognition and license plate screening deployed for counterterrorism purposes, according to the site Intelligence Group, which monitors jihad movements. Better tighten your World Cup security. We don't like some of those teams at all. And don't forget, FPVs are everywhere. You never know when one might end up right in your team's bus. Handala warned in a statement quoted by Site. The Handala syndicate published alleged photos and footage that it said were taken from hacked drones. However, Site disputed the claim. It came just hours before the United States men's national team began its World Cup campaign against Paraguay on Friday, with America co-hosting the tournament alongside Canada and Mexico. So there's their threat. What does it mean? I don't know. Might not mean anything. Might not mean nothing at all. And in other news, all the news that you can use in other news, they're going after the fraud, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is right here. Fox News reporting they're cutting off the funds.
Department is cutting off tens of millions in federal funding from LA's homeless program over what it calls mismanagement and lack of safeguards against potential fraud. David Spunt live at the Justice Department. Hi, David.
Hi, Dana. Hi, Bill. This is a huge blow to this LA homeless authority. It's called LAHSA. They just were informed within the last hour that they are losing these tens of millions of dollars. They've gotten almost over $1 billion since 2021 in federal taxpayer funding. Now they're going to lose it as this investigation goes underway. This is from the White House Fraud Task Force in coordination with Housing and Urban Development. This is a 13-page letter that we obtained exclusively sent to this agency. According to the letter, LAHSA's received, as I said, $1 billion from HUD since 2021. The letter goes on quickly to point out that LA County has withdrawn funding for the agency. The city of LA is considering the same. The letter continues. HUD has evidence that LAHSA's repeated false statements and its irresponsible actions and failures, including its lack of financial management, internal controls, and safeguards against conflicts of interest, pose a threat to HUD, the public, and those living on the streets of LA. Now, homelessness is a real problem in LA and other parts of California. It became a central focus of Republican mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt's campaign, though he ultimately was defeated at the polls. According to the numbers, $953 million was allocated in fiscal year 25-26 by the agency. Approximately 44,000 unhoused homeless people, approximately $22,000 per homeless person spent. FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson, who's the vice chair of the Fraud Task Force, says that LA didn't care about the homeless, but the Trump administration administration does. Ferguson is part of this overall task force. They don't just have their eyes set on Los Angeles, really all 50 states, but a big blow to this agency today, guys.
That's really interesting and a theme, of course, in the last few months with the administration. Thank you so much.
So they're cutting off the funds to these homeless organizations that are basically just stealing all the funds, which, you know, that's the way you do it. And here's another story. This is this happened about 2 or 3 days ago out in California. It says that federal agents raided Indian-born financier, this guy, at his mansion in California after defrauding a local bank almost $100 million. He is accused of defrauding a federally insured bank out of nearly $100 million by systematically falsifying documents and misrepresent the quality and priority of real estate collateral pledged on loans. So what he was doing, it's very interesting that this happened because there's other fraud. There's other. Let me link this to something. Because this is interesting. It says massive Democrats act blue money laundering scam uncovered. Democrats are pretending to buy $200,000 houses and creating $200 million mortgages and then laundering money through the transfers. What? Let's just look at this. Let me get this up on the screen here.
Please don't sue me. All the records, including the mortgage, the deed of.
Tell me, magic mortgages. What in the world is this?
Stop pausing. Let me put it up on here.
We have this architecture that when you buy a house, generally it goes into escrow. You have a title company that handles the escrow, and there are a number of documents that go into it. So just at a broad scale, let's imagine you buy a house. Grant Stinchfield buys a house for $200,000, and it's funded by one of the North American banks. We'll just say Wells Fargo. Please don't sue me. All the records, including the mortgage, the deed of trust, the Alta insurance policy, all of those records are recorded in the county record. Then just a few minutes later, your $200,000 house suddenly has a $200 million magic mortgage that comes through. It's nothing but a wire that goes through the title company. There's no lender involved because it's a hard money loan, what they call a cash hard money loan. But because it goes through a title company, there's no notation of who the lender is. And it goes on through the system. Now, what's interesting is, and this is what caught our attention, these are Act Blue officers, corporate officers. Once we found one, it led to another and another and another and another. So we have them all over the nation. And this is just one small fragment of the human map. You leave this digital dust, if you will. This is one small fragment.
You have all of these gigantic financial transactions. Now the question becomes, how do they funnel that back into the campaigns? Is that the small dollar donations that we see that show up at some lady's house and she's donated to Act Blue 52 times and she knows nothing about it?
Well, that's just one small aspect of it. So James O'Keefe, got to give that guy credit with the whole smurfing piece that he's done. And we got to be careful about what we're calling this. This is a research project because we're not licensed investigators. We want to make sure that people understand that this money is going into organizations that this architecture was set up by Barack Obama to spread cash around the country and to put money into political action committees, into non-government organizations, to fund candidates, to set up the whole architecture for a public relations machine, read basically propaganda machine, to promote the whole concept that we're a team, we've got great funding, it's all behind us. So here in Arizona, for example, the Arizona Democrat Party, not more than about 5 weeks ago, it replaced their chairman because their fundraising is 25% of what it was last year. Well, where did all the donors go? So what we're talking about here, Grant, is wholesale fraud, where the money is distributed by ActBlue officers. And now, because we're not federal law enforcement, we don't know exactly where it went. But that's why we've turned it over to U.S. attorneys.
And that brings me to the real news, I guess, is that you have handed this over to the Department of Justice. What has been their response of taking the evidence? We'll call it evidence because, nothing's been proven yet. I'd like to get ActBlue's response on all of this. But you turn over this evidence to DOJ. What do they say to you?
We are now engaged in conversations with a number of U.S. attorneys, former U.S. attorneys, lawyers who are not yet confirmed U.S. attorneys. So there is great interest. I've got to believe that Attorney General Pam Bondi has forwarded this out to the folks that are the financial crimes folks. And by the way, it wasn't just the AG. We also sent it to the IRS Criminal Division and to the FBI. So Director Patel also has this.
So now we know that they're starting to bust people for these type of things. And you have to ask, what is going on here? Why is this happening? Because this is where all the money comes from. This is how the Democrats have been raising money for years. They can't raise money the normal way because they've been cheating for so long. It's such a difference between honest, hardworking people and people that just scam their way into everything. And there's going to be more of this coming. God is about to blow the doors off this thing. We're going to see so much more scam, so much more of this stuff. It's going to blow people away. There's a little bit more. In fact, there's a lot more on the fraud stuff. Let me just get to it here. What's this one right here? Yeah. I'll skip that one for now. Sorry. All right. Maybe somebody ought to teach me how to do this show. Let's see, Iran deal. That's it. Settlement Iran. Nope, that's not it. I know I got another really good one here. Right here. Here it is. Trump talking about Ilhan Omar and some of the others.
Somalia. All these people came in for Somalia. They ripped off our system. You have the woman who married her brother. She came in and married her brother. Isn't that wonderful? And then she talks about the Constitution of the United States. She comes from Somalia. They don't have constitutions in Somalia. They don't have police. They don't have it. All they have is people that run around shooting each other. And then she comes and tells us how to run our country. I don't like it. These people don't like it. I can tell you. I think I can speak for you. Yeah. She comes in, Ilhan Omar. She comes in. She tells us how to run the United States of America. And she comes from a place without anything, probably among the worst countries in the world. And she says, the Constitution of the United States protects me. She shouldn't be protected. She honestly was thrown out of the country. She's corrupt. And most of the people that came in are corrupt. And the whole voting system is corrupt in Minnesota. I won Minnesota 3 times, easily. I won almost every county, but they didn't give it to me. It's a corrupt system, very corrupt state. The governor is terrible. The attorney general is terrible. They're all very corrupt people. Yeah.
Ilhan Omar is going to go to jail for a long, long, long time. That's why Donald Trump's calling her out. Watch and see. Oh, I forgot this one. Did y'all see where oil's at today? It's like $85. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens. He told you it was going to happen that way. Now this is talking about pattern recognition, talking about all this fraud. It says patterns matter. I mentioned that because we are seeing this one play out, talking about the guy being arrested in California on varying levels and across different industries nationwide, and in a manner that only appears to be picking up steam. What we've come to find out is that the extent, Facebook's having issues, ladies and gentlemen, says. Looks like you guys were talking about Facebook in the chat room. It just popped up on my screen that my stream is having issues on Facebook. What we've come to find out is that the extent of the fraud in the country is much deeper than most could have ever imagined. And it's once you understand that, combined with the decided uptick in revelations, indictments, arrests, and convictions happening at a rate heretofore unseen, things come into focus. You could never start by dumping all of this on the American public at once. What you do is introduce it slowly to the public consciousness so as to not freak people, markets out, and then accelerate disclosure as the public becomes increasingly acclimated to the knowledge, including making them angry and demanding justice. But wait, there's more. The same pattern is playing out in real time regarding the disclosure of voter fraud, government corruptions, NGOs, UAPs, etc. The same pattern is playing out in real time regarding disclosure of voter fraud, government corruption, U.S. just read that. Now you ask yourself a simple question. Do you think this is all just happenstance? Just arresting the people we got voter fraud convictions. We got Bolton with a plea deal, emphasis on the deal part. We got all this stuff just kind of plopping out there in front of everybody where you can see what's really going on. Donald Trump retruthed this one. It says, U.S. Attorney in California suspects voter fraud investigation will result in charges. Isley, how you say his name, Isley, said his team and Assistant Attorney General from the Civil Rights Division, Dylan, have been trying to audit the state for over a year under the National Voter Registration Act, and California has been not complying. So over and over again, things are starting to pop out right in front of us and makes you start going, what is happening? What is happening here? We are entering a new phase in this, I think. I think things are starting to really ramp up. I think people in America are starting to understand what's going on, starting to see what's happening. You know, we had this deal with with this Anthony kid down in Texas. Cardi B is weighing in on her opinion. Isn't that the womp chick? Womp womp and all that? I think it is.
This is America. I sure learned something from this. I learned to tell my sons, if a white boy, do not argue with no white boys. Because, baby, ain't no law protecting you if something goes down with them. That's what I learned from this case. I'm going to tell my sons, you arguing with a white boy, walk the fuck away. Because the law don't protect you when it comes to dealing with.
And she has a little more wisdom to spout.
My son is no murder.
Oh, I thought there was another one.
My son
Never
is
mind. This is the mom and her reaction.
My son is no murderer. My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself. And that's what hurt so bad.
That's right. My son was just defending himself when he killed the other kid. Only that's not how it played out, is it? Cardi B out there going, I got to tell my kids when they get in an argument with a white boy, they got to run. Yeah. Don't. How about that? How about treat everybody nicely? Have love and respect for your neighbor and your fellow man. You know, it says something about that in the Bible, doesn't it? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Try that one. Instead of always have to be fighting. I'm bigger and badder than you. Guess what? You're going to find somebody who's bigger and badder than you. It's going to happen. And it's not going to be nice for you. Here's some more.
His mother recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury. I know they had their
They didn't give him 99 years.
Really wasn't much I could say to change their mind.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
You did get a fair shake. They didn't lock him up for 99 years. They didn't give him the death penalty, which in Texas is like, I mean, they got drive-through death penalty. He's just a kid. Well, maybe you should have raised him better. I'm just saying. You can't say that, Mike. You don't know what they've been through. I can say it, and I'll show you in a minute.
This is who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of public opinion had made up their mind about his son long before the trial began.
He was convicted when he walked out of the jail. If you looked at the news all last year, he was already convicted. If you look at it, it was already done. It was no innocent until proven guilty. He was already guilty.
Yeah. I mean, it was obvious what happened. It was obvious what happened. You just don't want to accept that. You just don't want that to be the case. But you know, your opinions don't matter when it comes to the facts. Here's some more. Here's some more from these guys. They went on their media tour. They was all over the media. You know, they pay people for that, by the way.
Take us inside that courtroom. What stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be, you know, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
The truth is on your side. The white boy's dead. At his hand. Now, here he is, Mr. Anthony, claims to be penniless to get a free appellate lawyer so that he could appeal his conviction. His family, raising $630,000, moved into a $900,000 home and bought a $150,000 car. You know what that means? That means they financed it. That means it's going to get repossessed because they don't have this incoming income anymore. Because the family don't give a rat's patootie about this boy. He's just a means to an end. Here's the father. Here's the father and what he has to say. The father of the boy. They got murdered.
So, starting from the beginning, April 2nd, I received a phone call from Coach Jackson and said, Jeff, all I know is Austin has been stabbed. I asked him where. He said Kirkendall Stadium. I immediately hung up the phone and I made it there in about 4.5 minutes. When I arrived, it was pretty chaotic. A lot of police cars, a lot of people. I ran through probably 10 different officers who tried to stop me. When I did reach the track, the scene that I saw was my son, Austin, and they had a C machine on it, which actually automatically pumps on your chest. But when I saw him, I knew he was gone. I prayed for a miracle. And as soon as that happened, I asked the ambulance, the EMTs, what hospital they were taking him to. And once they instructed me where they were going, I directed my attention to finding Hunter. And they said he was taken to the locker room in the field house. So I proceeded to go run over there. And I found Hunter, who was uncontrollably out of control, bawling, emotional wreck. So I have to try to gather him and maintain myself. And all we do is we pray. And I tell him, let's go. I'm taking you to the hospital. You're riding with me. And we get in the car and we're praying. Because I am praying for a miracle at this point, because I know my son was gone. But we get to the hospital. We get in the room. I have to make the phone call to his mom when we were driving to inform her to meet us at the hospital. By this time, the word's getting out to certain family members. Certain people are showing up at the hospital. Takes probably, I'd say, a good 10 minutes before the doctors come in. I knew what was fixing to be said. I knew by the look on their face that Austin had passed away. And they confirmed that. That very second, Hunter spun out of control. It took 5 officers to get him under control. We had to admit him and get him sedated. And then at that point, they wouldn't allow us to see our son because now it is a crime scene. So they have to process the body. So for over 2 hours, we can't even see Austin. And by this time, a huge crowd of students, parents, friends is overflowing this hospital. It is so touching and so moving, and we're all so distraught over the news of Austin's passing. That moment, I became totally numb and went into what I call survival function mode. I had to find and buy burial plots, funeral homes, arrangements, so many things that had to be done. And I needed to stay focused. That very first night, our church held an impromptu vigil. Our church holds 1,500 people at Hope Fellowship. It was overflowing. There was over 1,700 people that showed up that night. Very touching. An outpouring from the community, friends, family, even people who didn't know us showed up in support. And I spoke that night about who Austin was. He was a leader, on and off the field. He touched people's hearts in ways others couldn't. He was loved by so many, and so many loved him. I had no idea his life was going to be so short. I'll never understand why. But you're supposed to trust God, and I do. I don't understand his plan, but I have to lean into him for understanding. And to be honest, I will not understand until I sit beside Austin and ask God, why did you have to take him so soon? Because I can't come up with the answer. No parent should ever have to bury their child. It's not a natural procession. And it's probably the worst pain you'll ever feel. I mean, even if you lost your parent, your spouse, because when I went to my grief group, that's pretty much everyone lost their spouse or something. And I'm the only one who lost a child. And it's very, very different. And I'm not minimizing a loss of other people. I'm saying it's a different type of loss that I pray to God no parent ever has to feel or experience. It will crush you. It will break you. And you will never be the same again. From day one, I said this was never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both. The race card, black fatigue, it's real. I'm sorry. You have embarrassed your own culture and race. Don't get me wrong. We got white people that embarrass the shit out of me too. But you guys, you got a patent on that shit. And the only people that's going to change it are you. Don't blame the white person because we can't change it. But you're going to blame the white person for every fucking thing else. We're the bad ones. We're the one that held you down. Guess what? You can do everything in America that I can do. Tell me one thing you can't do that I can't do. We all have equal rights. What's it say? All men are created equal.
So that's the dad. And he was under a gag order. The mom and dad and the rest of the family were under a gag order. While these other clowns are going around for the last year talking about how innocent the other boy was and how they're going to lose their boy, he couldn't say a word until now. And nobody wants to talk to him. He has to go on some podcast like mine. I'm sure I'm not whoever this podcast is. You saw their logo on there. I'm not saying anything bad about you. That's not my intention here. It's just, I'm just like you. We're just small guys. We're small fries. And he has to go on that show to get his point, his side out. Because no one else will have him. It's utterly disgusting. But that's who these people are. It is who they are. And it's a shame. I've got some more because we're going down the road. Now, all that heavy stuff. Let's do some light stuff. Here's somebody dressed up, acting like these people out there doing what they do.
Free Carmelo Anthony. He ain't do nothing wrong. Y'all bitch ass motherfucking white people convicted another black man who innocently stabbed that white kid. Y'all motherfuckers know you can't be touching black folk no more, okay? This royal blood. This shit ain't no different than George Floyd, Trayvon Martin. This some motherfucking bullshit, okay? Free Carmelo. Y'all better be posting your black squares or y'all ain't gonna get this black ass. And if the black community doesn't donate that money to my Cash App, then y'all gonna let Carmelo Anthony suffer. I need my motherfucking reparations for what y'all did to Carmelo. Tyler Perry, Oprah, if y'all hearing this, please donate some money to me. Free me from these shackles of white tyranny. Scum!
Oh, sometimes you just got to laugh at them. Because if not, you cry. But it's just insane where we are in this country at this time. And all the things that are being pointed out, all the things that they're touching them. Here's a little graph somebody put together, and I got to correct the graph because it isn't entirely accurate. It says statistics don't lie. That's right. Figures don't lie, but liars figure. I get it. There is a problem, but it isn't the white folks. You got the white on black crime, 59,000. I don't know when the graph is from, how long this graph. Well, this is just 2025. 59,000 white on black crime. Black on Hispanic crime, 112,000. White on Hispanic, 207. Hispanic on white, 365. Hispanic on black, 44,000. Black on white, 547,000. But you know what's missing here? And it's a bigger number than this. Black on black. Black on black crime. It's not in there. It's not in that. It should be. Because it's a bigger number. It's insane where we are in this world today. But, you know, this is I've seen her before, this nut job. She's wanting to be one of the race baiting poverty pimps. She thinks she can replace Jesse Jackson. She's a doctor of something or another. And she's all upset down there because of the DA. Here, listen to this.
See, I ain't come out here to play. Bring it on. I came out here since you over here want to call this boy a murderer. Then we're gonna take the covers off you. Ain't no way in hell that you need to be a damn DA with this foolishness. Did you know? Hold this, please. I got you. That there is a 75-page federal lawsuit for sexual harassment of the DA that was saying that Carmela Anthony is a murderer. Where you need to be a registered sex offender, sucker. Let me read.
Sucker.
Let me read. We ain't know that. The pot calling the kettle black cow, but you the whole DA out here. Oh, so you thought y'all was the only one that could go in PACES. And let me explain to you what PACES is. PACES is the database for federal lawsuits. See, we have a research team, baby, that's colder than the media. So let me go ahead and read a little bit of it, show you how disgusting this joke is. It's serious.
Now, mind you, this is a lawsuit. It hasn't been adjudicated. It's not a criminal crime, criminal prosecution. It's a lawsuit. Somebody trying to get some money. So they're at this point, it's not proven. These are allegations that she's reading. And if it turns out not to be true, I think she deserves to get sued.
The Jane Doe one refused defendant Willis. Ain't that his name, Greg Willis? Oh, okay. Advances at the Galveston TDCAA conference. He treated her quite differently in the workplace. He began demeaning and berating her. In one closed door meeting, he told her, "You think like a child, and I would treat you like a child." Defendant Willis likely appreciated the gender slurring that is implicit in a male supervisor telling a female employee that she thinks like a child. Oh, wait a minute, it gets better. Hold on.
Okay, she's going to go read all this stuff. Let's just assume that the DA down there that brought the charges against this kid for killing the other kid and got a conviction, let's just say he is a pervert at the workplace. Two wrongs don't make a right. And if he deserves to get prosecuted or sued or whatever, good for him. Good for him. By the way, breaking news. breaking news. Like I said, and how many times have I said this, that there will not be peace with Iran till the mullahs die in their caves. Trump denies, breaking news, CNBC. Trump denies Iran's account of deal terms, describes new drone attack, dishonorable people. President Trump denied the terms of war-ending deal that have been circulating in the Iranian state media. What they said, including their weak, pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth, Trump said angrily on social media post. The 14-point document reportedly included a commitment from Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days. The Strait of Hormuz is open. Donald Trump proved that yesterday. Global stocks surged on Friday on peace hopes the deal would be reached, blah, blah, blah. But it looks like maybe they're reneging again, as Donald Trump said, dishonorable people. Dishonorable people. That's what they are. Okay, here's some more on Kamala, on Mr. Anthony. I just thought this was a great explanation and funny at the end.
That's why I say black people are the most racist people in America by far. Let me preface this because I want people to understand that I'm fair. I think these things through. I don't know if it was because the past racism that existed against black people and they're matriculating this stuff down through generations and now have become just as racist and evil as they claim white people used to be. Listen to what they saying after the verdict was read. Roll it.
Collin County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Dalworth, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe for none of you white folks to come out this weekend. I'm giving y'all.
Let me just pause this real quick. Just so you know, my dad retired as the fire chief of Keller Fire Department. So y'all act like these people just racist. They elected, hired a black police chief. I mean, a fire chief. My dad honorably served and retired from that agency. And these racist, ridiculous black people are trying to make it all like it's all white people, just racist. These racist white people in Keller and all these. Stop being stupid. I even think the Plano chief was black at some point. They like Texas. Roll the clip.
A fair warning right now. And guess what? It's going to be a bunch of outside that look like me. And we ain't out there with no pocket knives. We out there with these. I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Carmelo. If you don't believe me, bring out bold ass out this weekend.
Don't tell me a smoke detector went off. Don't tell me I'm finna quit the show. Did this man just do a threat video talking about white people in a smoke detector case? Roll it back. Let me see if that's what I really heard.
I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Carmelo. If you don't believe me, bring it.
I'm quit. I quit. You can't make this up. Change it. What? Change your smoke detector. Let me say this. I'm not trying to be funny, nothing. God is my witness. I don't know if it's in black people's DNA where we don't have our eardrums are set up different, where we don't hear that. When I first started my show, when I was living in Marana in my middle room, and I used to do a podcast and record videos, my smoke detector went off and I didn't hear it. And people kept telling me, change the smoke detector, change the smoke detector. And I was like, why people worry about my smoke detector so much? I don't know what it is, man. Black people just, I don't know what happened to us. We evolved to where we don't hear a thing. That dude on here talking crazy to white people with a smoke detector going off. Every stereotype you can think of, he just lived it.
You know, it is ironic sometimes. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Last week we noticed that there was somebody, I don't remember who it was. It was like one of the Minnesota fraud people, all upset because some Minnesota fraud people got busted and she had a big presser conference somewhere and the smoke detector went off too. I mean, it's so funny. It is so funny. So funny. So this one right here, this is on the Iran war, about how, I have no tolerance. I've told you all before. I have no tolerance for these people who say it's the Jews. If your answer to what's wrong with the economics in the world today and how do we fix it, the Jews. Why is there war? The Jews. Why is the dome cracked and you can get to the moon now? The Jews. If your answer, is there chemtrails in the sky? Jews. If your answer is Jews, you are intellectually weak. You can't argue anything on the merits. You just say it's the Jews. Candace Owens goes over to Russia. Okay? We'll get back to this because I got this post. Candace Owens goes over to Russia. I think I got this post. I may have this post. And she speaks over there for money, says she just went on vacation, et cetera, et cetera. And her post gets shared, retweeted, whatever you call it. Come on, don't freeze up on me now. Don't stop me now. Yep, just froze up. Anyways, I'll just tell you. Doggone it. She goes over and she does what she does. It gets retweeted by Dugin. Dugin is the right-hand man and the spiritual advisor. Glenn Beck's been talking about him for 15 years. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Alexander Dugin. So we still don't know Alexander Dugin, but I would like to know Alexander Dugin. Candace Owens says, oh, she wants to be buddies with Alexander Dugin. And when she gets pushback on that post, she says, it's the Jews. Don't want to talk about who that guy really is. Green Beret Nap Time says, the op is so stupid and obvious. Dugin and Russia are anti-American. Candace is pro-Russian and pro-Dugin. Candace is anti-American. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. That's what the Green Beret Nap Time says over on X. My point is, everything is the Jews, which I am so tired. That is so, if you can't argue anything, your excuse is the Jews. You're weak-minded. You're brainwashed by the propaganda. You have no original thoughts of your own. You're just a robot repeating what you've been told. You say that about me, but I can argue, can't I, people? Because we disagree on some stuff, right? I can argue my point of view. Good enough, some people get pissed off at me, never watch me again. I'm never watching you again. I appreciate you guys out there that disagree with me to continue watching. I appreciate that. And I challenge my audience to understand what you're talking about so that you can argue your point of views. It's the Jews. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out for the weak-minded, uneducated, woefully ignorant people on the planet. And I'm sorry if I'm offending you, I'm sorry. But it's true. Because what's going on in Iran, it's not the Jews. It's not the Jews. What's going on in Iran is way bigger than that. And the Iranian, the IRCG are the most evil of the evil that could be. They're 12ers. They want to destroy the world. They're waiting for their Messiah, Satan, to come up out of the well, the 12ers. I've talked about it. Listen to what this lady says about what she's been told going on in Iran. She's Iranian.
Pay attention because this is going to blow your mind. After the blackout in January and the massacre that happened inside of Iran, I posted this video saying that all the bodies that we had seen were of just men and young men, no women, no children. I also said that once the war started, that these bodies will be used in different areas as a tactic by the Islamic regime and say that Israel and USA killed the women and children. What we have found out is far worse than that. When the massacre happened and the internet came back on for a short period of time, we showed you the body bags of the men, and we showed you that they had EKG machines. We showed you that they had been split open from the chest down to the belly, where is obvious that organs were removed. We had mothers come out screaming, demanding, wanting to know where her daughter's organs were and why she was cut open after the body was returned. This is the reality of Iranians inside of Iran. It sounds like something from a cartel movie. A while back, a hairstylist in LA, or a wig specialist, I'm not sure which one she is, had came out and said that they have noticed an influx of Iranian hair being shipped over. Armenian authorities have seized a truck that was carrying 143 bundles of Iranian hair being smuggled into the country, hidden in pillowcases in the back of a truck. If your problem is the administration and you're bickering back and forth with left and right, then you're not even fighting for the right people. And articles and posts like this is what's going to damage what truly is going on. This is an Arab account, not an Iranian account that speaks for the people of Iran. This is the way the regime is going to change the narrative and say, no, the Iranian women are trying to sell their hair because they are so poor. With the lockdown, the war, and the way the border patrol is happening, that is completely impossible. Banking systems are down, cryptocurrencies are being monitored, internet is in and out. These women have no way of collecting the money. The truth is literally this regime continuing to brutally oppress and kill the Iranian people. And we must let this administration know that no negotiations are acceptable. This is not about the Strait of Hormuz anymore. This is not about nuclear weapons. This is about an entire civilization being held hostage.
Tar, don't bring that subject up again until you can. I'm serious about this. I told you about it before. Until you can tell me what is Zion. I don't want to hear your stupid crap about what Alex Jones says about Christian Zionism. You can't even understand Zionism unless you know what Zion is. And you don't know. So don't say it again. I told you before. I'm not suffering fools anymore. I'm not doing it. Don't care. Now here's I got a couple ones here. This is good right here. Here's this man with his boys, beautiful family, and he's playing this video. This lady, he's got the perfect answer. Look at this guy, this beautiful family here. He's sitting here and they're watching this nut job.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more. What do you want us to do?
I also have 5 boys. She doesn't know what to do after the Carmelo incident. Like what to tell her sons, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try something. Today, boys, when you go out into school, don't stab any other kids.
Yup.
You think you guys can do that? You feel good about that, Lee? You feel good about that, Ace?
Yeah.
Oh, you're Aunt Cheryl. This is Ace. So, is that a good commitment from everybody? We're not going to stab any kids today? Hey, try that, lady. That might work.
It wasn't really in my game plan.
What in the game plan? No.
Boys, don't go out and stab nobody today. Problem solved. Right? Oh, one more. This one right here. Then we'll go on to other things.
What do you want us to do?
Quit murdering people.
What do you want us to do at this point?
Don't kill people. You know, drink a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie.
What?
Just chill out.
I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more.
That it is illegal to stab someone.
What am I going to tell my boys? Have a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie. Don't kill people. It's that simple. I mean, it's a concept. Maybe, you know, You messing with my rights to stab people. I don't think that's an argument you should have. Now, also breaking yesterday. What time is it? Good, I got time. Also breaking yesterday was stuff about the kids.
So for years, open border policies threatened the security of our nation and put countless lives at risk. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Justice is working alongside HHS and DHS to secure the border and protect American communities. There's a lot of ways that we do this. It includes punishing those who exploited the system and smuggled unaccompanied children across the border during the prior administration. More than 475,000 unaccompanied children entered the United States during the Biden administration. 475,000. Over 300,000 cannot be accounted for at the end of 2024. The way that this happened was typically because the criminals calling themselves sponsors trafficked these children to the border, usually committing fraud to do so. And oftentimes the children were abused, assaulted, and certainly exploited. In some cases, individuals would sponsor multiple children, which required them to lie to government personnel and on government forms, claiming they were close relatives when in fact they were not. They would use fake or stolen identities and make other false claims during the application process in order to obtain custody of the children. I think I'm stating the obvious that when government fails to protect our borders, it is the most vulnerable who suffer. And this department and this administration has zero tolerance for unlawful activity and is committed to protecting children who suffered the consequences of open borders. Today, we are announcing the indictments of 3 individuals: Maritza Kawik Koch, her brother, Carlos Agustin Kawik Koch, and Gladys Marina Call Chen. This was out of the Northern District of Ohio. All 3 are illegal aliens from Guatemala who allegedly took part in a wide-ranging conspiracy to smuggle more than a dozen children into the United States by scamming the system and exploiting the loopholes created by the last administration. This is one example, one indictment, but it is not unique. There are over 15,500 super sponsor cases that we have identified along with DHS. And again, these super sponsor cases are when somebody sponsors more than 3 children, unrelated, and they're unaccompanied minors that come in the United States. I also want to announce today from the same district in Ohio, the Northern District, the sentencing of another criminal illegal alien who was convicted, also from Guatemala. He was a 27-year-old man who came to the United States, smuggled in a 14-year-old child by submitting false paperwork and lying on the forms, claiming to be her brother, proceeded to sexually assault this young woman. And these 2 cases, while only 2, help explain how what was going on is really the stuff of nightmares. Now, these charges brought by the Department of Justice show the important partnership between HHS and DHS and with the Department of Justice. All of us are going after those who illegally brought children to this country.
And a little bit more.
Because we're enforcing the laws, it's inhumane somehow? What's inhumane about taking care of our kids? As a father of 6 with 3 young girls, I will do whatever I have to do. I will move heaven and hell to go find these kids. And guess what? The same individuals that the Democrats want to demonize every single day, which is our law enforcement, is out there doing that job. And I am proud as I can possibly be to sit here as secretary to say, because of our relationship with DOJ, with HHS, and this administration, we're going to find you. And those that preyed on these young kids, we're going to bring you to justice.
450,000 kids came across the border Nobody knows where they're at. Nobody knows where many of them are at. And the ones that they're finding are telling horror stories. But it's the Jews. I mean, I'm so tired of that. It's horrible. Here's Donald Trump. Donald Trump talking about the mutilation of children by these transients. It's the same subject, I think.
Transgender mutilization. Don't listen to this, kids. Of your children. Transgender mutilization of your children for everyone. When you have policies like that, you have to cheat. It's the only way they can win. And we shouldn't allow them to cheat. And we should terminate the filibuster, because if they get the chance, they'll do it in the first hour back.
Mr. President, thank you. When Iran is seeing 50.
So they're going after this on multiple fronts. These people are evil. They're sick. They're disgusting. I don't even have words to describe. I mean, one of my kids or one of my grandkids, my kids are all grown now, but one of my grandkids, I just couldn't imagine. I just could not imagine the evilness. These people are just evil beyond all recognition. Here's what Stephen Miller says. On a daily basis, the Biden administration turned over hundreds of alien children who had been smuggled across the border to unverified, unknown adults, almost always illegal aliens, who requested them thousands of times. Multiple minors were handed over to the same illegal alien adult. The Biden administration never met these adults. They gave the minors to a third-party contractor, and the contractors drove the minors to unknown adult sponsors. The official address on the government forms usually faked or abandoned. Then the Biden administration would administratively close the case, ensure that the minor would disappear. This, I'm telling you, we're scratching the surface of this. This is going to be huge. This is what the pardons were all about. Joe Biden left. This is going to be huge. Just wait and see what comes of all of this that they're doing. Oh, let me talk about this. Did you all see that the Knicks won the championship yesterday? Wait. They didn't win the championship yesterday? Then why was New York City destroying itself yesterday over the Knicks? This is New York City celebrating the fact that the Knicks won a basketball game. Not the championship. They haven't won the championship yet. It's 3-1. It's going back to San Antonio. And you know what? I haven't watched basketball since Magic Johnson and Larry Bird days. I was really into it back then when I was a kid. I was into all the sports. Watching. I didn't play much. I was uncoordinated. So I haven't watched basketball in years. But this makes me want to watch the game and root for San Antonio. Wouldn't it be something if San Antonio comes back and have to win 3 straight to do it, comes back and wins against the Knicks? Wouldn't it be something? And there they are trashing their city over. I mean, who are these people? Why do they do this? And now I wanted to talk about this too. I wanted to get this out of the way. So the SAVE Act, it's still combobulated up there, and it's not going to pass. I've said it all along, it's not going to pass. And one of the champions for the Save America Act has been Mike Lee, and here he is on the floor giving his words.
Mr. President, our elections need to be characterized by two things. We need to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And we need to do that by making sure that people establish their citizenship and therefore their eligibility to vote when they register, and that they show who they are when they show up on election day. This isn't hard. This isn't unusual. Every country in the entire world, countries you're familiar with, countries you're not, countries as wide-ranging as Mexico, Brazil, India, Argentina, Peru, Botswana, Burundi, they all have voter ID requirements. We do not. We do not want to leave this amount of power sitting on the table so that foreign powers can send forth people who are not eligible to vote in this country and vote anyway. We need to do this. The House of Representatives has passed the Save America Act. We now have the opportunity to vote on that same bill, the Save America Act here. This bill, Mr. President, will disenfranchise no one. It will make us all more free. It will protect the sanctity, the dignity of your vote. When we allow people who are not allowed to vote, we rob Americans of their vote. Let's make it easy to vote, hard to cheat. Let's pass this bill.
Here he is. Rah, 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 Mike Lee, let's pass the bill. He's got an issue. I'm so tired of the Republican Party. Because you know what? He wants to pass this bill. He's against the nuclear option on the filibuster. He's against changing the rules to make it just a 51 vote. He's against changing the leadership in the Senate. He's against all the things that we can do as a party to force through this bill. He's against doing anything that will pass the Save America Act, except get down there and say, we have to pass the act. No, and it's not going to pass. He knows. Thune, McConnell, Cornyn, what's the other guy that just lost? He knows none of them are going to vote for this. He knows that. And he's against doing anything that will get it passed. And I've decided that he's just he's a typical in the vein of Ted Cruz Republican. What do I mean by that? Ted Cruz, 2018. Donald Trump loses control of the House. Ted Cruz, the same day that Nancy Pelosi picks up the gavel to be Speaker of the House. He puts through all the red meat bills, term limits, balanced budgets, all the red. He writes the bills and institutes them. Oh my gosh. I'm Republican and I'm doing it. If you just vote harder and give me more money, we'll get them next time. I got the bills right here to prove it. Knowing there's no possible way they will ever pass. Yet for 2 years, Ted Cruz, the Republicans controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And you did nothing. You didn't bring up, you could have brought up the bills then, and then they could have passed. But they wouldn't have passed, would they have, Ted? Because the Republicans don't want those bills to pass. They don't want the Save America Act to pass. They don't want to rebuild our military. They don't want to eliminate debt because it eliminates their power. They're perfectly fine being the minority party as long as they get power. And I'm tired of it. I'm going to call it out every time I see it because I'm tired of it. Absolutely fed up. Laura Ingraham posted this. It says, everything he does proves that Trump was right to oppose him. He really believes he has the right to that seat, even though he loathes Trump's and his supporters. Cornyn predicts post-midterms will be the most miserable 2 years of Trump's life. Let me tell you something. The Republicans are delay, stall. to get to this election because they know the fix is in. They think the fix is in. But let me tell you something, Republicans. God has called you out in multiple properties. Kim Killian's property years ago. I am dissatisfied with what comes out of the Republican Party. You guys are on the chopping block. God's going to hold you more accountable than the dirty, no good scumbags that are the Democrat Party, because when you're a scumbag and you tell everybody you're a scumbag and you act like a scumbag, it's fine. We know who you are. But you guys have been running around. You guys have been running around wolves in sheep's clothing. It's true. It's true. I'm looking for a post here. Let's see. Yeah. Things are starting to happen in the background. They're going to cause change like you wouldn't believe. And we're about to go through it. We really, really are. And Lord was telling me to play something, and I didn't play it. But let me get this done first. Here's a new one. It says that FBI raids and executes 3 search warrants in Contra Costa County in California on the assessor's office. Here's another place where the fraud everywhere, anywhere that has to do with money in our government is completely fraud.
Federal raids in the East Bay today targeting elected officials. The search warrants were for the Contra Costa County Assessor's Office and 2 homes. NBC Bay Area's Valina Jones is live in Martinez. And Valina, what do we know about the investigation?
Well, the FBI is telling us this is all tied to an ongoing investigation, confirming that they executed those 3 search warrants at those 3 different locations that we know are connected to the county assessor's office as well as their top leadership. More than a dozen federal agents served search warrants around 7 Tuesday morning at the Contra Costa County Assessor's Office, as well as the homes and vehicles of outgoing County Assessor Gus Kramer and Assistant Assessor Vince Robb. Kramer, who denies any wrongdoing, says agents seized his phone and laptop.
It's the same powers that be trying to intimidate people who, in my opinion, probably know too much, and they're trying to silence them.
Kramer says he doesn't know what prompted the searches, but believes they could stem from conflicts he's had over his more than 30 years in office, including conflicts with disgruntled former employees and the Board of Supervisors after he sued them, claiming they violated the Brown Act. The search also temporarily shut down operations at the assessor's office.
We would have given them everything they were looking for. Instead, they're wasting taxpayers' dollars going through literally mountains of people's records and totally unnecessarily.
Robb declined an on-camera interview, but says he's unaware of what investigators are seeking and maintains he has done nothing wrong. According to unofficial election results, Robb is expected to replace Kramer when he retires later this year.
I'm not going to be around in 6 months. I don't care. They can accuse me of, kicking the dog. It doesn't matter to me. The important part is Vince is elected. He's going to do a good job and serve the taxpayers well.
Kramer has faced controversy in the past. In 2019, a civil grand jury accused him of willful or corrupt misconduct related to allegations that he created a hostile work environment. That case ultimately ended in a mistrial. In a statement, Contra Costa County says, quote, while there are certain limitations on the board's authority because the assessor is an elected official, the board is focused on ensuring the integrity of the assessment process and will explore all available options for its continued operation. Kramer says taxpayers should not be concerned.
I want them to be assured that everything will be okay. It will not affect them. And I've been accused of some pretty heinous things over the years, but I've always been exonerated. So I can rest assured that will be the case this time.
Now, all 3 search warrants and that FBI raid did not conclude in any arrests so far. We know that Kramer will end his term at the end of the year. A new county assessor will take over in January. Reporting live in Martinez, Valina Jones, NBC Bay Area News.
The question that everyone is asking themselves is, are they Democrats involved in the fraud? So let's take a look. The county assessor elections are nonpartisan, but let's go ahead and see who's involved. Gus Kramer, he is a longtime Democrat, of course. Vince Robb, Kramer's longtime friend. Let's see, he's got no party affiliation found, but he is deeply tied to Kramer, which means he is a Democrat. And the county overall is, of course, a blue Democrat area.
Let me tell you something. There's something wrong with the assessor offers across this country, and it doesn't make a difference what their political affiliation is. Everywhere there's a dollar that can be controlled by this government is corrupt. From dog catcher to president, everywhere. And the only man that's ever done anything about any of it, ever, is Trump. And I just want to play this. So, it is the weekend. So you know what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to turn it all off, take a break, go out, work in the garden, get a suntan, enjoy the weather, go out and watch your kids' games, whatever it is you're doing, or grandkids, or whatever. Have a great weekend. And I'm going to end it with this. Just a reminder. Are we in this season? I don't know. We are definitely in the season of judgment. God's already said that. But here we go. You guys have a great day. I'll end it after this.
Summer reaches to spring and to fall. I will be the mediator, says summer. I will uncover. I will defend. My sun will shine. But yet beneath the earth, there is a rage. Eruptions. Summer says, why choose they me? Why do the tornadoes, the hurricanes choose me? I am summer. I bring smiles. I bring sunshine. I bring warmth. Yet there is a tumultuous rendering that is coming. I stand to protect spring, but fall, you are rebelling. Or is it that possibly the Spirit of God will cause many to fall in fall? Then there is the earth that wishes to tremble. Shake! For the nations of the earth stand waiting. He is quiet. He shall not return. This God is too quiet. But my mercy endures forever. However, there is an uncovering of great evil. And I will start from the top. I have shaken the Democrats and will shake the Republicans even more. But remember, when these tremors and when these tumultuous moments happen, Summer says, I will take it so that the fall can do its work in America. The auto industry of this nation shall rise, and they shall disappoint the expectations of the East. shall say, what do they have? Why does America still prosper? Princes of darkness and demonic powers are raging for these two extremely wicked terror organizations to be pierced with the sword of the Lord. Summer, take it. For thus says the Lord, I will prosper my people. And during the fall there shall be many that shall fall, and many that shall rise from the dust. The earth is standing prepared. I shall take it, for the summer shall bring forth much in the temperatures. Strange July, hypnotic November, and oh, Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. For God says, I have chosen each season to manifest something. My will shall be done, and it shall come to pass that I shall bring sign after sign. And in the fall, that which comes down is that which was able to be shaken. And I will build and release the resources. And in the fall, will show you whom I have chosen.
This almost feels illegal to know if you're a side sleeper. What I've decided.
They can bury the truth, but they can't kill the soul. Cut through the noise, get back to what matters. Stomp that floor, raise that hand, hear that truth roll across the land. We've been bent, we've been bruised, still we stand with nothing to lose. It ain't easy, the road is long and hard. We stand for our freedom right here in our own backyard. Yes, Patriot might, standing tall and free. Patriot might, for you and for me. Strapped in. You're live with the Patriot Mike Show.